Okay, well, a lot of people on YouTube and on the internet are posting presidential tier lists ranking the worst presidents of their life, our lifetime, to the least worst president of our lifetime. So I thought I'd do my own list here. Um, I actually have it A through F, although there are no A or B tier presidents probably in the history of our country. And I know you can say, they should all be in the F, they're all equally bad. Yeah, but that wouldn't make much of a list, and you gotta be a little more nuanced than that. So, to kick it off here, I'm gonna go with the least worst president of my lifetime, Jimmy Carter. Uh, Not any kind of endorsement, just least worst. Tallest kid in kindergarten. Next least worst, I'm gonna go with Gerald Ford. Probably just because he wasn't really in there very long and didn't really do much of anything. Probably the worst thing he did was pardon Richard Nixon. Um, yeah, a lot of people don't realize this, but he was actually never voted on for vice president because Spiro Agnew was Nixon's original VP. He got booted for some corruption or some scandal thing, and Gerald Ford was just kind of appointed in there. And then when Nixon had to step down, Ford took over as the prez. Okay, next least worst. Next least worst, I'm gonna Richard Nixon. Um, yeah, he was pretty bad, but he did end the Vietnam War, and uh, wow, what can I say? Ralph Nader talks about how Nixon was the last leftist president because he was the last president who actually feared the American population. I don't know. So starting off the D tier, I'm gonna go with the Orange Clown. This might be a little controversial. You know, you can say, oh, he did 25 terrible things. Yeah, but he also did one really good thing, and that was he defeated Hillary. He took out probably the most right wing politician, definitely in our country's history, possibly in the history of the world. Therefore, yeah, I mean, you can, all those 25 bad things that Trumpy the Clown did, Hillary would have done all those same things, only she would have been 3 to 15 times worse. Plus, she would have done a couple hundred more evil things that Trumpy never would have thought of. So that's why I'm putting him there. Uh, Next in the D tier, I'm going to go with George H.W. Bush. Yeah. Started the first oil war to cover up my generation's oil war. Started up the war to cover his buddy Ken Lay and the whole Enron scandal. Then, you know, when he was in charge of the CIA, we had Iran Contra, dealing weapons to the Iranians, literally committing treason, uh, making a deal to keep the Iranian hostages there until he got elected. Yeah, total piece of crap. H.W. Bush. Next up, we got Ronnie Raygun, the actor, Democrat turned Republican. I mean, racist, you know, total piece of crap. But you got to give him credit. I mean, he wasn't quite right wing enough for the Democrats, so he had to switch to become a Republican. And yeah, he had Alzheimer's and didn't really do anything. Don Regan was basically in charge, and probably H.W. Bush was kind of in charge. Uh, yeah, I don't know. So coming in the F tier now, the third worst president, Dick Cheney. What all do you say? Just Dick Cheney. second worst president, and this was kind of a tough call, but I'm gonna have to go with Osama, a guy who talked about hope and change, things are gonna be different. Then he gets elected, and he's the third term of Dick Cheney. But really, he was a lot more than he was. He started out as Dick Cheney Jr., but ended up more as Dick Cheney 2.0. Uh, you had, where do we start? Bailing out Wall Street, uh, the FISA bill, uh, tax cuts, making the Bush Cheney tax cuts permanent, obviously Romney Care, trying to privatize Social Security, trying to push the TPP, doubling offshore oil drilling, um, opening up the Arctic to drilling several times, overturning the ban on exporting fossil fuels, which stood since the 70s. Yeah, I mean, once again, the only reason he's not number one is because him and Trumpy the Clown have the same one good thing they did. They beat Shillery. He wasn't as bad as Shillery. And Obama bots will cry about Obama wanted to be a moderate conservative, but Shillery pushed him all the way to the right. Yeah, if Shillery would have been the president, it would have been even worse. And although I'm not going to say he was the worst president of our lifetime, I would say that he did more damage to the progressive movement than any other person probably ever. I mean, Obama came in 2009 with a progressive lightning bolt in his hand, and he took that and just grounded it, just dissipated it right into the earth, at the same time bowed to his corporate masters. He disbanded all of the grassroots organizing that he did and just went from, a moderate conservative just pretty much all the way to the right. Then he did other things like, there was the NBA strike that he stepped in to crush. Uh, Bernie Sanders, sellout Sanders, who he got everyone to destroy Sanders. Yeah, it's hard to say that sack of shit Obama was. I mean, it's hard to only have him be the second worst president, but then when you get the absolute worst president, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. This is the guy. Okay, so Republicans, one of the huge things with Republicans is they're always we've got to balance the budget. We got to balance the budget. The last Republican president to balance the budget was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was the last Republican president to leave office with a balanced budget. Before him, you have to go all the way back to Dwight D. Eisenhower. Now you ask, well, how did he balance that budget? Well, let's see. One of the main things was he gutted welfare. No president in our country's history has cut more money from programs for the poorest than Bill Clinton. And it's not even close. The graph he is off the chart for gutting welfare. And I'm not saying that welfare didn't need to be reformed. It needed some tweaks. He took a chainsaw to it. Not only that, but you've got he was the first president to murder somebody with a drone strike. NAFTA, CAFTA, cut capital gains tax for rich people, epic, massive deregulation, hugely deregulated the banking industry, got rid of Glass-Steagall, which led to the 2008 prime mortgage crash. The crime bill, three strikes laws, privatizing the prison industry, massively deregulated the telecom industry and made the media landscape so that now we have 5 companies that run all the corporate news media of this country. Just, he had a plan with Newt Gingrich to privatize Social Security. Thankfully, American hero Monica Lewinsky came into the scene and stopped, because of the Monica Lewinsky scandal, he wasn't able to privatize Social Security. Yeah, Bill Clinton. I mean, Bill Clinton, you can also argue that he was the one that took the Democrat Party and made them even more right wing than the Republican Party. Or you could just say that he's always been a Republican, which, let's keep it real, he was always a Republican. Yeah, Bill Clinton. I'm sure I've missed 1,000 things that was bad. And oh, and as we were talking about the Iran Contra scandal, Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas when a lot of the CIA planes carrying cocaine into the country landed at a National Guard base in Arkansas, and Bill Clinton's brother, what was his name? I forgot. Bill Clinton's brother was one of the ones who was distributing the cocaine out from the National Guard base. So, Bill Clinton never tried to hit H.W. Bush over Iran Contra, probably because he was involved in it too. So, yeah, Bill Clinton, worst president of my lifetime, hands down. Um, so you're going to ask about why Brandon isn't on this list. I will rank him once he's done with his presidency. Since he's, as of September 4, 2022, he is still the president. So when he's done, then I will go back in and rank him however bad he actually is. So there you have it. America, worst government money can buy.